Living Daylights is a 1987 film. It's once again directed by John Glenn, who I swear this guy has directed more Bond films than Sean Connery and Roger Moore starred in. But speaking of that, we have a new James Bond. Roger Moore has stopped playing the character. A little controversy on whether or not he retired or was let go as the character. But either way, it's interesting to read the casting stories on them trying to get a new actor, how they were looking at people like Sam Neill, Pierce Brosnan, who would eventually get the role later on. But ultimately, they ended up with Timothy Dalton. So let's see how he did. In this plot, we see James Bond get assigned to protect this Soviet defector because he's about to get sniped down. But as Bond is about to counter-snipe this person, he sees that it's a pretty cute chick. And of course, at first, we think that Bond, in his Bond ways, doesn't kill her because she's a girl and he doesn't want to kill her. But we find out that no, he is right, that she wasn't really trying to kill him. There's something more going on to this, and ultimately, this Soviet defector, he can't be trusted. What I thought of The Living Daylights was, I thought it wasn't bad. First of all, the introduction scene of James Bond, I feel like was very crucial here because after 7 movies with Roger Moore, even if most people didn't like him as Bond, it's still a getting used to factor. We're so accustomed to him or Bond being played this certain way after all these years that to see it played differently could be refreshing or could be uneasy to watch. And I feel like Timothy Dalton pulls this Bond version off. I mean, he's nothing like Roger Moore. He's serious. He's sort of straight-laced, not nearly as much humor. And I saw some reviews that said that they didn't like that they wished or they missed the humor, the one-liners, just some jokes out of the Bond character, and I understand that. There was a part of me that was thinking, Timothy Dalton, like, he's good, but maybe he could have been a little bit more interesting or maybe a little bit more fun. However, I do get what they were going for. Also, I did find the plot interesting because at first it looks like this woman who is a cellist, it looks like she's the villain, and it looks like maybe Bond's weakness for women is going to be his downfall here. But no, when you find out that she is the Soviets' girlfriend. She doesn't know what's going on, and Bond finds out this guy is actually a bad guy and this was all staged and faked. It's like, wow, there's a lot more going on in this plot than I thought it was going to be. And it almost lets you know what these Bond movies could have been these last few years. Again, I'm not saying I didn't like the Roger Moore movies, but they were a lot more silly and goofy, and it seemed more the villains and the henchmen. Every movie had the same sort of setup that it's refreshing to see sort of an espionage type plot. I also found it interesting that we have a new Moneypenny, and I do think it was about time. I like the actress that was Moneypenny for all these years, but she was getting older, and if we're going to recast Bond, I think this character needed to be recast as well. I also liked that, yeah, they kept the traditional Moneypenny clearly being in love with Bond, and it doesn't seem like they'll probably ever get together. But I like seeing Moneypenny actually do stuff, seeing what her role in the agency was. She wasn't just some receptionist that just kind of sits there and flirts with Bond. No, she actually gets stuff done. It's about goddamn time. And the action I thought was all good. I mean, I'm not going to lie and say I wasn't a little, not bored, but I thought there was some slow parts, but when the action happened, it happened. And it was cool to see Timothy Dalton seemingly do damn near most of his stunts. So, The Living Daylights, again, I wasn't blown away by this movie, but I still did like the plot twist. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below, what did you think of Timothy Dalton as James Bond? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Later!